Somebody say, prayer, enter me.
Some of you that watched the Benin Fire Conference, I couldn't understand how somebody will be asking a question. When Papa was doing Q&A, and the guy said, I'm a man of God, but I'm in a relationship with a witch. Wait first. Wait. I'm a man of God, and I'm in a relationship with a witch. How do those two things even be in the same sentence? How did he become so entangled that he needs to ask that question in a conference? How do I leave the relationship, bro? How did he get to the point that you fell in love with a witch? That's the problem. You know, the average Christian, when we are talking about marriage, the only thing they are thinking about is the enjoyment. Say, my wedding day, they don't die. So when they see me, when me and my wife were preparing to marry, we were going to camps to lie at the altar and beg God that this union, you must gain maximum profit. And just peradventure, we were using corner eye to look at each other. And you are not in this thing. Don't let us walk down the aisle. Till the last day, we're still telling God, if peradventure there's an iota of doubt that this is not your will, we don't want it. But now people get into relationship, all they are doing is going to, I don't know the fast foods you have in Makurdi. But they sit down, they touch their nose, they say, see your pointed nose. That's what they do from till the day of the wedding. Then the sister enters into marriage without a blueprint. They don't know what God wants to do with the union. I'm on the altar. Call my wife now. She will tell you what I told her about our lives. The season when we will pack our bags and begin to go to villages for crusades. Our calling is on the field. When our children have reached a certain age, I know by that time God would have said, "You don't do. I walk away from the job." The calling is on the field. The marriage is not so that we will sit in front of TV and say, "Hey, Glorio, we are blessed." It's so that nations will be saved. I remember, I don't know, Reverend T, I don't know whose wedding was a crusade. I know I was following a message one time, and somebody did a wedding that was an open air crusade or something. I can't remember. Who was that? I can't remember. I can't remember at all. But I know I followed one meeting. I followed one meeting one time. But now we are even surprised that if we attend some of our weddings, we will not recognize that it is you that used to pray 10 hours. Yes. The DJ will introduce some kind of songs. I went to one wedding and I heard the song and I ran to the DJ to say, the person getting married is a man of God. He said, "Now you tell me, ma, play him." I said, "Okay." I wanted to intervene quickly. I thought that demons had arrested the wedding ceremony. I didn't know that the man himself, all the while he looked as if he was fighting on God's side. He said, "This wedding is just but once in a man's lifetime. So this is an opportunity to show what is truly in my heart." So as he's coming from the car, "All I want is your waist." Come on like this. It was an opportunity. The problem is he's entangled. And the consequence of that is that he cannot please the one who has called him to be a soldier. My brother, is a dangerous thing to think you are enlisted, that you are in the Lord's army, and yet when the Lord wants to give responsibilities, he says, I can't trust this one with anything serious. So when he's issuing letters of deployment, like he will issue this weekend, sending people to their posts, sending people to go and defend gates, that one will be in the meeting, and yet letters won't be issued. Because they know that this one is too entangled. If you put him there, he will be distracted. He will walk away from his responsibility. Something will pull him out of service. I remember a sad story. The missionaries I served with were called Christ Disciples Ministries. They were being financed by a ministry called Capro. I served with them on the field. And when we got there as coppers, because when you come to camp, you now volunteer. They will now take your name to NYC, then NYC will now post you to them. That's what they did. So when we got there, the man shared a story which was very sad. He said you would have met a dangerous missionary when you came. He was rugged to the bone, rugged. He said, but when he wanted to marry, he saw this beautiful damsel. Immediately he brought the damsel to the reverend at that time. He looked at her and said, Kai, this is not your wife. Oh. A brother who had said that God had called him to the field to labor for the lost. He said, this woman, she's not the one. No. He said, no, he must marry. You know, when you see certain sisters, even your willingness to obey God can be affected. He said, it must, if it's not this one, I'm not marrying. But that's not the story. He married successfully. It was a beautiful wedding. And they went to the field. 2 weeks into the labor, the sister said, I can't stay here. Say, this thing is not for me. He said, but you knew that this is my calling. Problem started in the marriage. One day he went to look at the villagers. Before he came back, the woman had carried all her things with their baby and left. Came back to her father's house. Then the man was saying, I will labor with the Lord. Then the reverend looked at him and said, go after your wife.